Hey all, it's Dan back with another video, and most of you know by now that little Richard has passed away by the code, dead at age 87. Some people say, well, 87 is pretty old, he passed away, apparently of bone cancer, but I'm going to show you in this video how he was murdered and how there's ritual shaming going on. So every little thing here in this CNN story is, and that's what it is, it's a story, is by the code. So notice it's updated at 218, kind of like death in English extended gematria. Death, common number associated around death. And the video, I'm sorry, the timestamp is at 218. This is why. And notice the date, 5/9, May 5th, 5/9, kind of like negro. Negro equals 5/9. Interesting that it's 212 extended. Maybe I'll get into that later. And also in Jewish gematria, kill is 59. You see a lot of that number here in this decode. Let's go through it a little bit. Notice the video is 1 minute and 30 seconds. So he was the wild man of rock and roll with hits like Tutti Frutti, Long Tall Sally. He died Saturday at the age of 87. Dick Allen. What a weird name, Dick Allen. Missing an L. So Dick Allen equals 59, the same number we've been talking about, huh? And 32, just like negro, right? Interesting. And it's also interesting that it's 157, because 157, the 37th prime. Derek's thing is out, so I'll have to use this. 157, the 37th prime. And that is interesting. And I'll show you that. Cancer equals 37. I'll get more to our friend 157 in a little bit. So Dick Allen, missing an L, died in Nashville with his brother and son by his side. He died in Nashville. Nashville 102, like negro. Sorry, like the N word. Both start with the letter N. 102. Interesting. Nashville. Also Nashville, 39 like masonry, 51 like conspiracy. And that's TN, Nashville, Tennessee, 46 and 62 like sacrifice. Also, this number is interesting, 161. I'll show you that. And if you just say it was, Tennessee, I think that's how you spell Tennessee, 73 like sacrifice, like ritual sacrifice. This was a ritual sacrifice. Sacrifice equals 73. Also 107. Just like Nashville, Tennessee is 208, which is 28. 107, the 28th prime number. And I don't know if you saw it. It was briefly on the screen. 107. Do it here. 107, the 28th prime. And Nashville, 208. So he was a rocker like no other, flamboyant, gay, and supposedly got the races together. This seems to be emphasized for some reason. Let's find out why. Together, 44 like kill, 118 like death, 37, remember? Cancer. So it's 98. Together, 98 like Nashville, Tennessee. Also 37, the reflection of 73. Together. I'm going to get rid of the English extended cipher. I use a lot of the Jewish one in this decode, using more and more of the Jewish cipher. So they talked to Mick Jagger, said he learned stuff. 1988, he supposedly went off script, boasting that he was the best and that he should get a Grammy and he's the originator. Like, who does that? It's obviously a script. And 5 years later, which would be 93, that number of propaganda of Saturn, he gets it. So rock and roll, a euphemism for sex, right? Rock and roll. And most of his songs, that's what they're pretty much about. Sex. Good golly, Miss Molly, she really liked to ball. Look at rock and roll. Just talking about this number 118, also 46. Rock and roll. 118 like Cancer as well, right? So rock and roll. Also like Together. Look at Together as Cancer numbers. 44, 118, and 37. Just noticed that. So big time rock and roll, pioneer, innovator. I don't know, they were using these words a lot. Pioneer, originator, whatever. We'll get into some of that a little later. So sex. That's what his stuff's all about. And so I wanted to get to one thing. So this is interesting. He was kicked out of his home as a teen. I don't know if you can see this. Let's make it a little bigger, shall we? Oh, I think I went too far. You've gone too far. Let's go back. So he was kicked out of his home as a teen. And a white family named Johnson took him in. As a teen, right? Johnson, a euphemism, if I can speak, short term for sex, right? Didn't he die on 5/9, or most of the world will say 9/5? Also 32 like negro, 94 like dead. Johnson. And Richard, his name was Richard, right? Richard or Dick. That was the name of his publicist. Little Richard is Little Dick, right? That's what they call people named Richard. Also call themselves Dick. I always wondered why, but maybe there's because it's ritual. Jewish 26. So yeah, I wanted to show you that. And now let's get to the decode here. He's the father of rock and roll. Founding father of rock and roll. Guess he was. One, two, three, like conspiracy. Father of rock and roll. 84 like masonry. Also 87. He died at age 87. The father of rock and roll. Dead at age 87. Interesting. So let's look at him a little bit here. He was born December 5th, 1932 in Macon, Georgia. Married for 4 years. Most of he's married in 59. Died on 5/9. Married in 59. Some people say when you get married, it's like death. And also, look at that. He's born in 32, like Negro 32. Things that you just notice. So remember that 157 So this happened on the 157th day of his age. He died at age 87. 157th day of his age. And 157, which we've talked about, is the 37th prime. He had cancer, 37. He's from Georgia. He's born in Georgia, 37. Right? It was also 5 months and 5 days from his last birthday to this. Died of bone cancer. It was also exactly 30 weeks till his next birthday, which would have been his 88th birthday. 30 weeks exactly. And that's interesting because it's this N-word, which is being thrown around a lot in this story. N-word equals 30. Weeks. And the song that his breakthrough song is Tutti Frutti, which equals 113. 113 special. It's the 30th prime. Penman equals 40. This number 40 shows up in this story a lot because the N-word in Jewish is 40. He had bone cancer, 40. And check this out. His net worth is $40 million. Hilarious. And this was, according to July 4th, 2019, that was his net worth. 40 million. All right. America, United States, as well, 157. 55, also number of sacrifice. So the hit that started it all, I talked about that. The N-word. 40. And the N-word also 148. And that's interesting because ritual sacrifice equals 148, something I did not know until recently. 148 is 74 plus 74, and he died at age 87. Penniman, Richard Penniman equals 87. Father of Rock and Roll equals 87. One of his other hits, Good Golly Miss Molly equals 87. Look at blood sacrifice and Little Richard. He was definitely a blood sacrifice, both 67 and 86. Penniman alone equals 86. Remember that video was a minute and 30? Penniman equals 130. Died on the 130th day of the year. Cancer equals 26. Macon, Georgia equals 26. Wait, I think I'm missing something here. Oh yeah. He died with he was born with 26 days left in the year. Cancer 26, born in Macon. Remember we were talking about 107 before? His full name equals 107, like ritual sacrifice. Right? Ritual sacrifice. And what else was that? Oh, Nashville. No, it wasn't that. It was some of their 107. 107 is 17 as well. Kill number 17. Also, yeah, ritual sacrifice 107. Little Richard equals 139. 139. Number of Freemasonry, also the 34th prime. Dies on a day with 34 numerology. He's born on the 340th day of the year. Right? 340. Kind of like 34. Like murder equals 34. Murder also 79, the 22nd prime. Negro 22. Negro 22. So, getting back to this. So I was looking at Tutti Frutti because that was the record that launched him. Released in October of 1955, recorded September 14th, 1955. Remember, bone cancer equals 55, sacrifice 55. Notice it's 2 minutes and 23 seconds. Hilarious. Synagogue of Satan 223. So it was released on the 257th day of the year, kind of like Blood Sacrifice 257. That was his big hit. Blood Sacrifice 257, 257. The 55th prime number. It came out in 55, right? On the 257th day of the year. What a coincidence. So let's look at the numerology of the day he put out this record, or he recorded it on a day with 97 numerology, 97 death, 34 born on the 340th day of the year. He died with 34 numerology. Also 43 like killing, like Masonic. Death, 97 as I mentioned. He died on a day with 14 numerology. 5 plus 9 is 14. Cut this song on the 14th. And here's a phrase that he's famous for. I'm not going to say it, but a wop, bop, a loo, bop, a wop, bam, boom. Oh, I did say it. Equals 109. 109, like his name, Richard Wayne Penniman. And he's the sound of the birth of rock and roll is what they said. 163, 161, 361. I'll show you. Oh, 161 was something. Tennis Nashville TN 161. All right, the sound and birth of rock and roll. Called the Innovator as well, 161 and 163, and reflection of 361. I think 361 is a prime number, or no, it's 361. Something special about 361. So special they can't show it. 361 is 19 times 19. We were talking about 109 is 19, and 67. His name Little Richard equals 67. 67, the 19th prime. Chaos 19. Chaos number. You know, Little Richard's dead now. What next? You know, one of the originators of rock and roll. So sex is dead. I don't know what they're saying. So this is kind of funny because I thought the name of the label was Specialty 561, and that equals 59. Specialty does equal 47 like Richard, but the name of the record label is just Specialty, not 561. He died on 59 like Negro. And 561, the 33rd triangular number. Got to have their 33 in there. Also the reflection of 165, like Scottish Rite. He's from Macon, Georgia. Equals 216. And that's 6 times 6 times 6. And then got some Number of the Beast stuff going on with him. Number of the Beast, 174. Richard Penniman 147, a reshuffling of that, and then 258, both 258 and both 87, Number of the Beast. And Richard Penniman, rock and roll. Aleister Crowley. So his dad, Charles Bud Penniman Sr., I think his name is 216 too. Charles Bud Penniman Sr. Yeah, 216 as well. just like, Number of the Beast, and just like where he was born, Macon, Georgia. So let's look at good old Bud, born April 10th in Georgia, died February 12th, 1952, before Little Richard's success, at age 41, very young. He died 44 weeks after his birthday. Exactly 44 weeks, and we know that as a kill number. Kill 44. African American and septenary cipher 44. I believe he was shot. It was also 308 days. 308, kind of like 38, like murder, death, killing. And then our good friend 59. So it was also 59 days. 59 days, like negro, like kill. It was also 8 weeks and 3 days. 83. He was born on a day with 43 numerology, right? They recorded on a day with 43 numerology. And he died on the 43rd day of the year. Look at Little Richard. Little Richard equals 212. He died on February 12th. I mean, his big hit, the one that, made him big, started the string of hits, was Tutti Frutti. Little Richard 212. So, what else we got here? So dead equals 14. Richard died on a day with 14 numerology. His first hit record was on the 14th. Right? His father born on the 14th. Died on the 14th. A lot of 14s. And dead equals 14. Also 22, like negro. Dead negro. What dead negro is. Look at the sacrifice numbers there. Also 44. It goes 44 weeks from his birthday to his death. Dead negro. So also from his birthday in 1910 to his death, 41 years. And look at Tutti Frutti. His dad was a sacrifice for his career. Tutti Frutti 41, in Jewish, and also basically 14, 1004 in Jewish, which is 14. The reflection of 14 is 41. He was 41 when he died. 41, the 13th prime as well, right? Born on the 130th day, or died on the 130th day. 41. Let's see if I can find my. There we go. Show you 41, the 13th prime. 13th prime. That video was 1:30. Richard Penniman equals 130. Or no, it's just Penniman equals 130. So he died on a day with 85 numerology. That's when he was shot. 85 numerology, reflection of 58, like Freemasonry. Little Richard in Jewish. I mean, this video, I haven't used so much of the Jewish cipher, but lately have been doing that. Equals 439. Why is that interesting? 439, the 85th prime number. Just like the date numerology for when his dad was shot. Also look at Tutti Frutti and Bud Penniman. Have similar gematria, 184, Tutti Frutti. Also 113 that we were talking about before. Like Scottish. So it was recorded here, J&M Studio in New Orleans, Louisiana, also 113, and then our good friend 14. 140 is 14. So rest in peace to little Richard Penniman, Richard Wayne Penniman, 87 years old. His father killed for his career. Probably others were killed for his very short career, really. Well, his hits were very short. It goes from like 55 to 58, really, is when his hits came out. And then he became a gospel, kind of into gospel. Gospel 74. 38, like murder, death, killing, 25. So, yeah, rest in peace to him. And the one dead by the code. Everybody have a excellent evening or day or whatever it is you're doing. Get together, love each other. Talk to you later.